اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم رب شهر رمضان الذي أنزلت فيه القرآن وافترضت على عبادك فيه الصيام، ارزقني حج بيتك الحرام في هذا عامي وفي كل عام، واغفر لي الذنوب العظام فإنه لا يغفرها غيرك يا ذا الجلال والإكرام. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. يا علي يا عظيم يا غفور يا رحيم، أنت الرب العظيم الذي ليس كمثله شيء وهو السميع البصير. وهذا شهر عظمته وكرمته وشرفته وفضلته على الشهور، وهو الشهر الذي فرضت صيامه عليه، وهو شهر رمضان الذي أنزلت فيه القرآن هدى للناس وبينات من الهدى والفرقان، وجعلت فيه ليلة القدر وجعلتها خيرا من ألف شهر. فيا ذا المن ولا يمن عليك، من علي بفكاك ركبتي من النار، في من تمن علي وأدخلني الجنة برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم ادخل على أهل القبور السرور، اللهم أغني كل فقير، اللهم أشبع كل جائع، اللهم أكسئ كل أريان، اللهم اقضي الدين كل مدين، اللهم فرج عن كل مكروب، اللهم رد كل غريب، اللهم فك كل أسير، اللهم أذل كل فاسد من الأمور المسلمين، اللهم اشفي كل مريض، اللهم سد فقرنا بغناك، اللهم غير سوء حالنا بحسن حالك، اللهم اقضي عنا الدين وأغننا من الفقر، إنك على كل شيء قدير.
اللهم صل على
صلوات.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم. أحسنتم جزاكم الله. صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم إني أفتتح الثناء بحمدك، وأنت مسدد للصواب بمنك، وأيقنت أنك أنت أرحم الراحمين في موضع اللغو والرحمة، وأشد المعاقبين في موضع النكال والنقمة، وأعظم المتجبرين في موضع الكبرياء والعظمة. اللهم أذنت لي في دعائك ومسألتك، فاسمع يا سميع مدحتي، وأجب يا رحيم دعوتي، وأقل يا غفور عثرتي. فكم يا إلهي من غربة قد فرجتها، وهموم قد كشفتها، وأثرة قد أقلتها، ورحمة قد نشرتها، وهلقة بلاء قد فككتها. الحمد لله الذي لم يتخذ صاحبة ولا ولدا، ولم يكن له شريك في الملك، ولم يكن له ولي من الذل وكبره تكبيرا. الحمد لله بجميع محامده كلها على جميع نعمه كلها. الحمد لله الذي لا مضاد له في ملكه ولا منازع له في أمره. الحمد لله الذي لا شريك له في خلقه ولا شبيح له في عظمته. الحمد لله الفحش في خلق أمره وحمده، الظاهر بالكرم مجده، الباسط بالجود يدا، الذي لا تنقص خزائنه ولا تزيده كثرة العطاء إلا جودا وكرما، إنه هو العزيز الوهاب. اللهم إني أسألك قليلا من كثير مع حاجة بي إليه عظيما، وغناك عنه قديم وهو عندي كثير وهو عليك سهل يسير. اللهم إن عفوك عن ذنبي وتجاوزك عن خطيئتي وصفحك عن ظلمي وسترك على قبيح عملي وحلمك عن كثير جرمي عندما كان من خطئي وعمدي، أطمعني في أن أسألك ما لا استوجبه منك، الذي رزقتني من رحمتك وأريتني من قدرتك وعرفتني من عجابتك، فسرت أدعوك آمنا وأسألك مستعنسا لا خائفا ولا وجلا مدلا عليك فيما قصدت فيه إليك. فإن أبطأ عني عتبت بجحلي عليك، ولعل الذي يبطأ عني هو خير لي لعلمك بعاقبة الأمور. فلم أر مولا كريما أصبر على عبد اللعيم منك عليه. يا ربي إنك تدعوني فأولي عنك وتتحبب إلي وتبغض إليك وتتودد إلي فلا أقبل منك كأن لي التطول عليك. فلم يمنعك ذلك من الرحمة والإحسان إلي والتفضل علي بجودك وكرمك، فارحم عبدك الجاهل وجد عليه بفضل إحسانك، إنك جواد كريم. الحمد لله مالك الملك مجري الفلك مسخر الرياح فالق الإصباح ديان الدين رب العالمين. الحمد لله على حلمه بعد علمه، والحمد لله على عفوه بعد قدرته، والحمد لله على طول عناته في غضبه وهو قادر على ما يريد. الحمد لله خالق الخلق باسط الرزق فالق الأسباب ذي الجلال والإكرام والفضل والإنعام، الذي بعد فلا يرى وقرب فشهد النجوى تبارك وتعالى. الحمد لله الذي ليس له منازع يعادله ولا شبيه يشاكله ولا ضحير يعادده، قهر بعزته العزة وتواضع لعظمته العظمى فبلغ بقدرته ما يشاء. الحمد لله الذي يجيبني حين أناديه ويستر علي كل أمرة وعلى عاصي ويعظم النعمة علي فلا أجازي. فكم من موحبة حنية قد أعطاني وعظيمة مخوفة قد كفاني، وبحجة مونقة قد أراني، فأثني عليه حامدا واذكره مسبها. الحمد لله الذي لا يحتك حجابه ولا يغلق بابه ولا يرد سائله ولا يخيب آمله. الحمد لله الذي يؤمن الخائفين وينجي الصالحين ويرفع المستضعفين ويضع المستكبرين ويحلك ملوكا ويستخلف آخرين. والحمد لله قاسم الجبارين مبير الظالمين مدرك الحاربين نكال الظالمين سريغ المستسرقين موضع حاجات الظالمين معتمد المؤمنين. الحمد لله الذي من خشيته ترعد السماء وسكانها وترجف الأرض وعمارها وتموج البحار ومن يسبح في غمراتها. الحمد لله الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله. الحمد لله الذي يخلق ولم يخلق ويرزق ولا يرزق ويطعم ولا يطعم ويميت الأحياء ويحيي الموتى وهو حي لا يموت بيده الخير وهو على كل شيء قدير. اللهم صل على محمد عبدك ورسولك وأمينك وصفيك وحبيبك وخيرتك من خلقك وحافظ سرك ومبلغ رسالاتك أفضل وأحسن وأجمل وأكمل وأزكى وأنمى وأطيب وأطهر وأسنى وأكثر ما صليت وباركت وترحمت وتحننت وسلمت على أحد من عبادك وأنبيائك ورسلك وصفوتك وحل الكرامة عليك من خلقك. اللهم وصل على علي أمير المؤمنين ووصي رسول رب العالمين عبدك ووليك وأخي رسولك وحجتك على خلقك وآيتك الكبرى والنبأ العظيم. وصل على صديقة الطاهرة فاطمة الزهراء سيدة النساء العالمين. وصل على سبتي الرحمة وإمامي الهدى الحسن والحسين سيدي شباب أهل الجنة. وصل على أئمة المسلمين علي بن الحسين ومحمد بن علي وصل على أئمة المسلمين علي بن الحسين ومحمد بن علي وجعفر بن محمد وموسى بن جعفر وعلي بن موسى ومحمد بن علي وعلي بن محمد والحسن بن علي والخلف الحادي المهدي. هججك على عبادك وأمنائك في بلادك صلاة كثيرة دائما. اللهم وصل على ولي أمرك القائم المؤمل والعدل المنتظر وحفه بملائكتك المقربين وأيده بروح القدس يا رب العالمين. اللهم اجعل الداعي إلى كتابك والقائم بدينك استخلف في الأرض كما استخلفت الذين من قبله. مكن له دينه الذي ارتضيته له أبدله من بعد خوفه أمنا يعبدك لا يشرك بك شيئا. اللهم أعزه وأعزز به وانصره وانتصر به وانصره نصرا عزيزا وافتح له فتحا يصيرا بصيرا واجعل له من لدنك سلطان نصيرا. اللهم اظهر به دينك وسنة نبيك حتى لا يستخفي بشيء من الحق مخافة أحد من الخلق. اللهم إنا نربغ إليك في دولة كريمة تعز بها الإسلام وأحلى وتذل بها النفاق وأحلى وتجعلنا فيها من الدعاة إلى طاعتك والقادة إلى سبيلك وترزقنا بها كرامة الدنيا والآخرة. اللهم ما عرفتنا من الحق فحملنا وما قصرنا عنه فبلغنا. اللهم المؤم به شعثنا واشعب به صدعنا وارتق به فتقنا وكثر به خلتنا وعزز به ذلتنا واغن به عائلنا واقض به عن مغرمنا واجبر به فغرنا وسد به خلتنا ويسر به عسرنا وبيذ به وجوهنا وفك به أسرنا وانجح به طلبتنا وانجز به معايدنا واستجب به دعوتنا واتنا به سؤلنا وبلغنا به من الدنيا والآخرة آمالنا وعتنا به فوق رغبتنا يا خير المسؤولين وأوسع المعتين. اشف به صدورنا واذهب به غيظ قلوبنا واهدنا به لما اختلف فيه من الحق بإذنك إنك تهدي من تشاء إلى صراط مستقيم. وانصرنا به على عدوك وعدونا إله الحق آمين. اللهم إنا نشكو إليك فقد نبينا صلواتك عليه وآله وغيبة ولينا وكثرة عدونا وقلة عددنا وشدة الفتن بنا وتظاهر الزمان علينا. فصل على محمد وآله وإن على ذلك بفتح منك تعجله وبضر تكشفه ونصر تعزه وسلطان حق تظهره ورحمة منك تجللناها وعافية منك تلبسناها برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين.
سورة المباركة الفاتحة. Inshallah, for tonight, our program, we should have the lecture with Sheikh, and after Sheikh, inshallah, we'll be having some present surprises. So it won't be a long program, inshallah. Without further ado, I would like to request our respected scholar, Sheikh Mohsen Nasser, to present his lecture with Allah salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
جزا الله خيرا آل بيت محمد فقد أخرجونا من دجى الظلمات عليهم من الرحمن ألف تحية وألف سلام دائم وصلاتي إذا ذكروا طاب الوجود بذكرهم ألا طيب الأنفاس بالصلوات. بلغ العلا بكماله الرباني كشف الدجى بجماله فسباني حسنت جميع خصاله فسباني صلوا عليه وآله بتفاني اللهم صل على أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وأفضل الصلاة وأزكى التسليم على المبعوث رحمة للعالمين سيدنا ونبينا وحبيب قلوبنا محمد وعلى آل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Holy Quran, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, وَالَّذِينَ تَبَوَّأُوا الدَّارَ وَالْإِيمَانَ مِنْ قَبْلِهِمْ يُحِبُّونَ مَنْ هَاجَرَ إِلَيْهِمْ ولا يجدون في صدورهم حاجة مما أوتوا ويؤثرون على أنفسهم ولو كان بهم خصاصة ومن يوق شح نفسه فأولئك هم المفلحون. And those who were settled in Al-Madinah and the faith before them and adopted the faith before them, they love those who emigrated to them and find not any want in their breasts of what the immigrants were given, but give preference over themselves, even though they are in privation, and whoever is protected from the stinginess of his soul, it is those who will be successful. The stinginess of the soul. The history mentions in one of the wars that happened that this kingdom and the king and the people who lived in that kingdom, they were under a siege from another kingdom with another king who was stronger. They went few days, few months under the siege until that king that was under that kind of situation, he couldn't handle it anymore. He said, either we have to surrender or we have to go out at night and do something. One of the people beside him, he said, can I give you an advice? He said, go ahead. He said, all the money and the wealth and the gold that you have hidden away, bring it and give it to them. And then they will go. So what did that king do? He ordered the goldsmith to bring all this gold and forge it into arrows. And then the next day, they shot these arrows onto the enemy. So the soldiers, they saw these shining arrows coming upon them until it fell down. They looked at it, they saw that he wrote on it something. He said, and from his generosity, he throws arrows upon the enemy of gold that was made in order to be spent on the wounded to heal their wounds, or on the killed to buy them kafan. He wrote that. The other king saw these writings on the arrows and he said, leave him alone. A king like that, who has that kind of generosity, should be left alone in order for this morality to keep going. One thing that we notice from this story, that this king, he wasn't even generous with what he had until he was put in that kind of situation that his soul depended on it. Either he will become a prisoner, or he will have to fight until he dies, even that their numbers were few. But we know that this is a good thing, and his generosity only showed when he was in that situation. But on a Tuesday night of the 3rd year of Al-Hijrah, after the Hijrah of Rasulullah, in Medina we have the pure kind of generosity that was born. And tonight we congratulate the Imam of our time, Sahib al-Asr wa al-Zaman, for the birth of Imam Hasan al-Mujtaba, Kareem Ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali. This oppressed Imam, that we know a little about him, not even the amount that we are supposed to use in order to defend him. that was generous in any way possible. The interval of time that the Imam Hasan lived in was divided into two. The 7 months after he took the Khilafah from Amir al-Mu'mineen, and then the rest of his time is during the truce with Muawiyah. And this truce, that Imam al-Hasan showed that he was even generous with his reputation. No matter what the people said about him, Ya Mudhill al-Mu'mineen, that he was the one who caused humiliation to the Mu'mineen, Imam al-Hasan alayhi salam kept going. And we explained when we spoke in the birth of Al-Qasim, the son of Imam al-Hasan, that he succeeded the same way his father succeeded. One of the things that he accomplished through the truth is to show how the monstrosity of the enemies of Islam, that they were willing to break this truce that is protecting a lot of Muslimin just for the sake of the chair, just for the sake of kingship. They broke that truce with Imam al-Hasan salawatullahi wa salam alayhi while he held his end of the bargain to protect the bloods of the Mu'minin. Even that 40,000 people pledged allegiance to Imam al-Hasan after the martyrdom of Amir al-Mu'mineen. He held that kind of burden after Amir al-Mu'mineen. Amir al-Mu'mineen 5 years and a half couldn't fix what the 3 caliphs before him ruined in Islam. Then for Imam al-Hasan to hold that responsibility for 10 years, holding that truce with the most vicious oppressor on earth at the time. So now we understand these hard conditions that Imam al-Hasan went through, and that didn't stop him from leaving his wealth, all of it twice, and to give half of it 6 times or 3 times according to the different narrations. First, we have to understand generosity. First, we think that when I say generous, it means someone who gives charity, who is generous with his money, maybe with his time, but it's much more than that. It's not only with the physical and materialistic things in this life. One of the people in the tawaf with Amir al-Mu'mineen, Ali ibn Abi Talib, salawatullahi wa salam, he came to Amir al-Mu'mineen and he told him, explain to me, what is a generous man? What is generosity? Then Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib told him, your words have 2 meanings. If you mean by the generous, the creation, the human being, that means that the generous person is the one that he does and fulfills the duties that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told him to do. Al-Jawad alladhi yu'addi mafturida alayhi. And the stingy is the one who is stingy with what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told him to do. So these duties that we have, our prayers, our fasts, the simplest thing that we can do in order to be thankful and grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when I do that, when I fulfill it, that's when I am considered a generous person. And when I am stingy, for example, I give my whole time in order to make money, I give my whole time on video games or spending it on Facebook or TikTok or on social media in general, even if it was for business, I'm generous with that. When, for example, I give out money, charity, it's a good deed. I send it to some of the countries that are struggling at this time. I make sure and I follow it step by step in order to deliver it to the destination because it's my money. I got tired and I worked so hard in order to make it, and I want to help people with it. And I follow it step by step. But when it comes to the real generosity, what defines a generous person? My relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Shahr Ramadan, other than Shahr Ramadan, my worship, how accurate I am with these deeds. So Amir al-Mu'mineen says, if you mean the generous is the human being, that's what it means. He's generous when he fulfills the duties, and if he's stingy, when he doesn't fulfill it. But if you are speaking about the Creator, about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah is the generous when He gives, and He is the generous when He doesn't give. He said, what do you mean? He said, Allah is generous when He gives because He's giving something to me or to His creation that this creation, this human being doesn't have. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for something that I don't have. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for money, for kids, for a wife. I don't have. If Allah gives it to me, He's giving me something that I don't have. So He's generous. And if He doesn't give me something, it's even that same thing I don't have. So whether He gives it to me or not, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is still the generous. And the generous, according to Imam Hasan salawatullahi wa salamuhu alayhi, when he was asked, what is generosity? He said, to give before you were asked. Before someone asks you to give. What does that mean? Imam Hasan is encouraging us to feel the people around us, to know their situation, to understand what they are going through. Because when the mu'min reaches a point when he have to ask, it means he's struggling. He's going through a hard time. So generosity in the dictionary of Imam Hasan is much more general than that. As I said, he was generous with his reputation to start with. He was generous with his wealth, which was the simplest thing for Imam Hasan. He was generous with his soul. Jada bi nafsihi. When we say jada, he gave out without even asking for anything in return, and he gave it willingly, like the companions of Imam al-Husayn, salawatullahi wa salamu alayhi. Even that they had the chance to flee and to leave, and heaven was guaranteed for them, but they were generous with their souls. So they paid their souls for the sake of the religion. And the person who's generous with his money, with the wealth, masarratul kiram fi badl al-ata, the people with dignity, their happiness, the generosity will be shown when they feel happy, when they give. Imam Rida salawatullahi wa salamuhu alayhi li dhikri salawat. Allahumma salli ala. He asked his son Imam al-Jawad to go through the biggest door in the house, holding the money that he had. He said that that bag had gold and silver. He said, go through the biggest door so everyone can see you. So whoever asks you, you give them. If your uncles ask you, if your aunties ask you, whoever asks you, you give them. Why? He said, because I want Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to elevate you, to upgrade your levels. So spend and give out, and do not be afraid that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would be stingy. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wouldn't be stingy. And one of the most important things that Imam Hasan alayhi salam left for us is the generosity with words. Now, all our lessons and the means to survive and to avoid the fire of hell, we learned these means from Ahlul Bayt salawatullahi wa salamu alayhim, because they were never stingy with that. But how many of us in this community are fulfilling this duty? We see that people, they just leave their kids in Arabic schools, Quran schools. That's a good thing. They are too busy with their businesses. They don't follow up with them at home. And if they are tired at home, they sit on the TV or they try to sleep. When the son or the daughter come up to them in order to ask a question, they would say, oh, tomorrow you ask your teacher. How did you know that this question would come up tomorrow with this kid? How did you know that the teachings are compatible to what you want them to be taught? So, if I want to be stingy with the simplest thing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave me, which is knowledge. Allah gave me intellect. That I acquired knowledge with this, and then I imprisoned this knowledge in my chest. These people that imprison the knowledge in their chests, madhmumin in the Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks about them in a very bad way. So, Imam al-Hasan salawatullahi wa salamu alayhi was generous with his words. To what point? As I said before, when I'm tired, coming back from my work, I'm too tired to answer the question of my son. I'm too tired to teach my children a few Arabic letters in order to learn the Quran. I'm too busy to teach my children a bit of narrations, the words of Ahlul Bayt salawatullahi wa salamu alayhi, while Imam al-Hasan salawatullahi wa salamu alayhi on his deathbed, struggling with poison, spitting out his liver piece by piece. His companion Junada visits him on his deathbed and he tells him, "Oh Master, I see that you are ill." He said, "This is my sickness that I'm going to leave this world with." He said, teach me something. And I want to stop on a point here. That man believed in the Imam of his time, Al-Imam Hasan, to a point that he trusted him, that he is going to be generous to a point that even if he is struggling, even if he is dying on his deathbed, that he will give him the knowledge. Do we have the same trust with Imam Sahib al-Asr wa al-Zaman, Ajjallahu ta'ala farjahu sharif? Do we have the same trust in our Imam? Do we have the same relationship with the Imam? Sahib al-Asr wa al-Zaman, Ajjallahu ta'ala farjahu sharif. Then Al-Imam al-Hasan, salawatullahi wa salamuhu alayhi, he moved aside that pot that he was spitting out the kabad, and we will learn a few lessons with this, and I will end with these words of Al-Imam al-Hasan, salawatullahi wa salamuhu alayhi, to learn from it. He mentioned four main things. One thing about the Day of Judgment, one thing about the dunya, one thing about the most important thing that we have to achieve in the dunya, and one thing about our relationship with others. What kind of relationships that we have to build with others. First, he says, استعد لسفرك وحصل زادك قبل حلول أجلك واعلم أنك تطلب الدنيا والموت يطلبك. Be prepared for your travel before your death comes to you. So as narrated as well in the narration, ittaqullah, be pious, O worshippers of Allah, and meet, forerun your end of time, your death, with your deeds. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, وَتَزَوَّدُوا فَإِنَّ خَيْرَ الزَّادِ التَّقْوَى. He said, be prepared for your safar, for your travel. Now we know in this dunya we have a lot of travels, that each travel has different impression on us. Sometimes you go travel to a country where it's cold, some of them where it's hot, the shape of the house is different. But we have only two destinations in this travel, either heaven or the fire of hell. He said, be prepared and prepare your luggage before your death comes to you. And you have to understand that you are seeking the dunya, but there's something else that's seeking you, that's running behind you, which is death. وَعْلَمْ أَنَّكَ تَطْلِبُ الدُّنْيَا وَالْمَوْتُ يَطْلِبُكَ. And do not be worried about the day that didn't eat from your day, didn't take anything from your day. What does that mean? Don't worry about the day that comes tomorrow. Do a lot of plans for tomorrow, and you don't know that you're going to survive until that time. And know, and this is a very important point, and know that there is no money that you gain more than what you eat, more than what you spend on yourself, and everything else that you keep is for your children and for someone else. This is the Imam's advice on his deathbed about the Day of Judgment. And then he speaks about the dunya. He says, wa'alam, and know that this dunya, in its halal, you will be held accountable. And its haram, there is punishment. And in the misconception, there is blame. وَفِي الشُّبُهَاتِ عِتَابٍ فَأَنزِلِ الدُّنْيَا بِمَنْزِلَةِ الْمِيتَةِ. Deal with this dunya like the dead animal, that if you were forced to eat it, you won't be blamed. If you were forced to eat it, you won't be. Now we are forced to live in this dunya. Ad-dunya sijnul mu'min. It's the prison of the mu'min. That's what I mean by being forced to live in this dunya. So we are forced to live in this dunya. That's why the Imam says, deal with the dunya like the meter, like the dead animal, that when you are forced to eat it, you won't be blamed. And now he speaks about the most important thing that a person seeks in this dunya. Isn't it happiness? We think that it's in wealth. We think that it's in children. But in fact, it's when I don't feel the humiliation in the dunya. He says, if you want izzan bila ashira, pride without having a tribe, without being related to a group of people, and prestige without kingship, اخرج من ذل معصية الله إلى عز طاعة الله. Leave and get out of the humiliation of the disobedience of Allah into the pride and dignity of Allah's obedience. And now the fourth thing, our dealing with others, with people. If you had to befriend other people and to befriend men, befriend the one that if you befriend him, he will give you your value. And if you needed help, he will aid you. And if you say something, he will believe you. And if you have a fight in this dunya, a struggle, he will be supporting you. And if you made a mistake, he will hide it for you. And if you make a good deed, he will mention it about you. And if you ask him, he will give you. If you go silent, he will start talking to you. And if you go through hardship and calamities, he will become in your level and he won't leave you. So, Imam Hasan salawatullahi wa salamu alayhi gives a full plan of a happy life. And that most of it depends on who you befriend. Because this friend, and Imam Hasan, this was the last advice that he gave to his companion Junada, and he ended it with the friendship. Because the friend that you choose, the workmate that you choose, the people that you choose in your life, they have the effect on either remind you of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in order to guarantee your day of judgment, in order to be successful on that day, and they are going to guarantee you're successful in this life. Salawatullahi wa salamuhu alayhi, salawatullahi wa salamuhu ala Sayyidina wa Mulana Al-Imam Al-Hasan Al-Mujtaba, salawatullahi wa salamuhu alayhi. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by his status to hasten the appearance of Sahib al-Asr wa Zaman, Ajal Allah ta'ala farajahu al-Sharif. The generosity of the Imam even comes by action. His presence. Now, this center is named after Imam Al-Hasan salawatullahi wa salamuhu alayhi. And we've seen the blessings that comes out of their names. Any center, any Husayniyah, any masjid that is named after them, we see the blessings that comes out of it. Al-Imam Al-Jawad, for example, and all of them, they have the same characteristics. But as we notice, some Imams, the certain characteristics would be shown more than others. Like the bravery of Amir al-Mu'mineen was shown because it was needed at the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa in order to build the Islam. Bunya al-Islam ala mali Khadija wa sayfi Amir al-Mu'mineen. It was built on the sword of Amir al-Mu'mineen and the money of Khadija. For example, the knowledge at the time of Imam al-Baqir, it was needed because wars was not needed after Imam al-Hussein, since the haqq was revealed and everyone knew the truth. At the time of Imam al-Hasan, he couldn't use his sword. He used his generosity. He used his wisdom. That's why we call him Kareem Ahlul Bayt. By action, me as a person, to be generous by action is setting an example to others. While Ahlul Bayt, their actions were much more than that. Like Imam Al-Jawad, as narrated, he only performed wudu in a place that's called Nabqa. The people saw it. When he performed wudu there, then a tree came out that everyone after that started to eat from that tree. Muhammad bin Maymun narrates that he was with Imam al-Rida salawatullahi wa salamu alayhi in Mecca. He said, I'm going to Medina, do you want to send a message to your son? Then Imam Rida smiled and he wrote a message to Imam al-Jawad. The man took the message and went back to Medina, and Imam al-Jawad was a baby in his cradle. Then the man spoke to Imam al-Jawad. He said, when I arrived to Medina, I lost my sight. I became sick and I lost my sight. Then Imam al-Jawad ordered his servant, while he's a baby in his cradle, to open the message and to read it. And then he looked at the man. He said, what happened to your sight? He said, I lost it on the way here. Then Imam al-Jawad wiped on the eyes of the man and he healed him. And this is what we seek from the Imam of our time. This is what we seek from Imam al-Hasan al-Mujtaba, to be generous with us, to wipe on our hearts, to cleanse it, in order to be generous with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in order to be considered of the generous ones. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to hasten the repairs of Sahib al-Asr wal Zaman, and to cure the sick, and to fulfill our needs in this dunya and for the day of judgment. إنه سميع مجيب والحمد لله رب العالمين. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد.
Jazakallah Shaykhna. Without further ado, I'd like to call upon Brother Hussein to present regarding the reflections on the Imam Hasan Center with the last salat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Assalamu alaikum, my elders, Sheikh, my sisters, my brothers, Assalamu alaikum. So I think as Sheikh alluded to, today we celebrate 18 years. On exactly the 1st of Ramadan, 18 years ago, we opened this center. As you all remember, a very challenging period prior to the building of the mosque and today. So I'll take the opportunity to just reflect on the journey we've been, and the focus has just been over the last couple of years with COVID and what this center has been able to achieve, and also a couple of reflections towards the end. So the topics that I'm going to cover today is the governance of this center. We have a couple of bodies that govern the center today. We're going to be talking about the challenges. How did we overcome COVID? We're going to talk about Islamic education, in particular madrasa, English lectures, and youth issues. We're going to talk about Imam Hasan Foundation, and lastly, we will cover volunteering. So from a very humble beginning, this is where we started. So really interesting, where the namaz was recited, that's where the center sits today. And you can see here quite a number of community members at the time all chipped in to come in and help. And you can see there the laying of the foundation. So where to from there? This is where we are today. A huge contribution from this center to our community, a massive contribution. Today we have the Sheikh's lecture. We have young youth presenting. I still remember Abbas Miraj standing here right where I am in front of a massive crowd appealing for Yemen projects. We have kids all around here. So massive contribution by this community, by this center to our community. So happy anniversary to all of you. Please recite salawat. Now I'll just briefly talk about the governance of this center. The governance of this center, two main bodies, the Board of Trustees and the Board of Directors. The Board of Directors, they manage the day-to-day operations of the center, and the Board of Trustees are the governing body, the advisory body to the center. Very importantly, we have made some changes to the Board of Trustees. We've added new people and new community members to the Board of Trustee. Our first addition is Brother Shabir Shigri. He's our secretary and also a trustee. Another addition is Abbas Sachu, a new addition. Sister Bina, one of the things we always wanted to do is make sure that we are equally represented. We have equal representation of men as we have for women. And as a result of that, we've added Sister Bina for her contribution to the center, Sister Seema, and Sister Shamim. That's our trustees. As you can see, quite a number of new members added. The board of directors' names are there, Brother Bakir, Brother Damji, and myself. And more importantly, we've created a new category called Trustee Life Membership, where there is a rotation in the board of trustees, where very old members then transfer to a life membership. So we have the names there. I want to particularly thank Brother Dr. Shabir Haider. You've been our chairman for quite some time. Under your leadership, we've seen a huge transformation to this center. Doctor stepped down as the chairperson, and now you're our life trustee. More importantly, I wanted to share with you what are the criteria for the selection of the trustees. It is purely based on your contribution of time and effort, and anyone can become a trustee if you can demonstrate consistent performance. None of the members here that you see on the screen today, you could ever argue that they have not been contributing consistently with their time and effort. So please recite salawat for our Board of Governance. And our ask here is please participate, please contribute, and please join us. Second topic I wanted to, I don't know whether we can ever say we have overcome COVID, but at least we're in a better position today than we were a couple of years ago. So this is what we were going through. We had to straight away go to online classes in terms of madrasa. And thank God to our online tarbiyah that we were able to execute this. Pretty much 200 plus students were all online. And as a teacher, and many of you are teachers here, you know how hard it is teaching to a blank screen sometimes. We had to go to 1.5 meters of prayer separation. We had to be wearing masks. And we had to really up our efforts in supporting others, such as the oxygen concentrators to India. And this is where we've come. It was very important for us to get together at the Luna Park. It was really important for us to get together to celebrate what we had achieved. And oh my God, you all turned out in huge numbers. So thank you all. And some really good smiley faces of students back in class in person. Our students really were looking forward to joining in person. Thank you for your cooperation. It was never easy, as we had to make sure that we follow the government rules, and we were extra careful. And inshallah, we will continue to be careful and follow the government rules. So thank you so much for that. Please recite salawat for ourselves. The foundation of any center, this is really important. The foundation of any center is our Islamic education. It is really important that we focus on tarbiyah for ourselves and tarbiyah for our children. It is really important. It is the legacy that we will be building. So what have we been doing over the past couple of years? Our focus in this center, amongst many other things, has always been the madrasa. Madrasa has been our top focus. We wanted to make sure that we contribute significantly to the tarbiyah of our children. We wanted to make sure that our lectures are relevant and they're topical, and they are in English as much as they are in Urdu. We give it equal attention to make sure that we are meeting the requirements of our young children who struggle with other languages. And at the same time, we look after ourselves, who probably would prefer lectures in Urdu. We make sure that we include youth topical issues and quite a number of our sheikhs, including our current sheikh, youthful in their topics, in their age. And this is important to us because we want to leave the center behind much better than it was when we took over. We focus a lot on sports and fun activities. I was playing with my brothers here volleyball just about a week ago. But we all have to do this together. If you don't, who will? And I'm sure you will not like the alternative. So this is what the center has been able to do. Here are some of the programs. You'll see a focus on children reciting here a lot more now than there were before. A lot more focus on sports. This was our volleyball competition, and my team came out to be the winners of that competition. I just wanted to say that, Abbas. But there is a reminder. We have invested significantly over the next 2 weeks of Ramadan, where we will have Sheikh Govani with us here, and his sole focus will be on addressing youth issues. Our Sheikh is going to be here, Govani is going to be here, and we're going to be addressing some of the most important youth issues. I teach class 9 and class 10, which are the highest class. Some of the questions that they give us, they need to be addressed. Because if they don't, they will find answers that you will not like. So these issues have to be addressed. And unfortunately, to be honest, I was asked a question and I looked it up. I didn't like the answer. So they have to be addressed by us. So please, over the next 15 nights, we're starting daily youth discussion. It only makes a huge benefit if we are here with our kids and our youth. So please encourage our youths. The third is our Imam Hasan Foundation. It is a foundation from this center delivering on our responsibility to our community. A very good example here, I'll give you a couple of examples we have done in Imam Hasan Center over the past couple of years. The first one here is during the India crisis, COVID crisis. We invested in, together with yourselves, massive program of donations where we were able to send almost 150 pieces of concentrators, oxygen concentrators to India. Another example of foundation contribution with your effort is we work with a school in Kenya where we were helping build the schools, build the buildings, and ensure that we can support them. This is something we worked in partnership with CHEPS in Kenya. The third one, we know the crisis in Afghanistan a couple of years ago. We had invested quite heavily, and with your support, we were able to raise almost $100,000 for this crisis with the help of via IRC through WF Aid. And more recently, and these are programs that are continuing right now, is our Ramadan campaign. We have the following campaigns. We provide food such as rice to a number of countries that represent this community. So we have examples of Tanzania where we sent 40 tons, iftar for 1,000 people on the 15th, 19th, and 21st. We sent 20 tons of food, again rice, 1,000 people, similar nights. And also Afghanistan, 20 tons of food, 3,000 bottles of cooking oil. And iftar, again, for 1,000 people. And then some amazing Lebanon support. Lebanon is going through a hyperinflation period, massive hyperinflation period, where the price of chicken is exorbitantly high. They can't afford it. I was talking to a friend of mine at work, and he's saying that his brother was saying, during the weekend, we're going to have chicken. That is a big thing in Lebanon. We managed to organize 2,500 fresh chickens to be delivered to our community, and here are evidence of those supplies there. I wanted to very quickly jump on the Imam Hasan Foundation website and just show you how how easy it is to donate. Pretty much, you go into this, you pick up some of these prescribed ones. Oh. This is how easy it is to donate. Pretty much if I was to do it right here, it will take only a few seconds. You pick your amounts that you want to donate. You pick which particular program you want to donate, predetermined. You fill in your details, you fill in your credit card. More importantly, you give us the permission to invest some of your amount into administration cost. We don't do it unless you click it. So it is at your discretion. You know that it takes a lot of effort to organize all of this, but we're giving it into your hands to give us that administration cost. Otherwise, every single dollar goes towards the campaign. We don't work alone in these programs. We work with organizations in Sydney. But more importantly, this is not about just working with them. This is about building a one community. I've been in Sydney since 2007, and I've never seen the efforts being put in as much as we have over the past couple of years in working with other organizations such as Al Jafariya, Shia Islamic Center, with particularly Sheikh Mufid, Mahdi, brother Mufid Mahdi. And more importantly, we thank you for pushing us and for advising and guiding us. Imran Care, Noor Relief, Imam Hussein's Islamic Center, Imam Hasan in Canberra, and Mu'minin of Darwin Association. Please recite salawat for all our organization partners. One other thing, you will have seen that we push a lot of information about how we're delivering these funds, and we send a lot of pictures. There is a reason behind that, because the audit requirement for sending money out, particularly from a money laundering perspective, is so stringent. We have to prove every single dollar, not only leaving the country, but the fact that it's delivered. And you have to present evidence of that delivery. So the evidence and traceability is really critical. And more importantly, we make sure that every dollar is forwarded, unless you obviously give us the permission to retain 3% of that. Please recite salawat for all of the efforts, your efforts, and the efforts of Imam Hasan Center. And my last topic today is volunteering. Who else? Who else would? There are a couple of immediate needs for volunteering, and the first one is around our funeral services. You know that we've bought a new land for our graveyard, Leppington. We're working with other community as well. We're seeing quite a number of services being needed to deliver there. We're asking for at the moment, all of the efforts is on the shoulder of our very few, if not one person. He's not here today. He's probably servicing somewhere. Brother Bakir, I know how hard that man works, because every time you call him, he is at a funeral somewhere. And when you imagine how many organizations we're working with, you would have at least 3 or 4 calls a day. And some of those are really critical. An example of that, where somebody calls, passed away in an asylum center. It's nothing except for Brother Baki to organize all of that. We really need your support to be able to be there when somebody needs those services, when they can't even move, is the most amazing service that we can provide. We are humbly requesting anyone with time and effort to do this to please come forward. but also general volunteering. I'll give you a very short story. I came in here in 2007, as every one of you. I also asked, where can I help? I won't mention the person's name. I asked this person, where can I help? And the answer I got is, look around and you'll find plenty. And since then, every time you look around, you will always find something to do. Whether it is carpet cleaning, whether it is picking up rubbish on the floor, whether it is looking after the kids when they're outside playing, whether it is slowing down some cars, whatever that may be, whether it is madrasa teachers. You can imagine with 200 students, how many madrasa teachers would we need? And if you ever imagine, we are not long in teachers. We are short, massively short. So it's really important for you to come forward and support us. So whether it is the kitchen, whether it is the madrasa, whether it is the programs, please come forward. And there's no doubt for the center's volunteers today who are supporting us, a huge thank you. You are all awesome, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you for your dedication and support. Please recite a big salawat for our volunteers today. And a building is a building unless we have people, that's when it becomes centers. I wanted to thank you all for being here every single day, supporting us in our programs, in our activities. A center is a center when we have you here every single day. And the work continues. This is just a reflection over the past 3 years. Inshallah, we will continue our efforts until as we prepare for the reappearance of our Imam, alayhi salam. Please recite salawat. And more importantly, I would like us to all recite Surah Fatiha for those who nurtured us and supported us and built us to what we are today, to be providing the services that we are providing. Please recite salawat. Surah Fatiha.
Jazakallah, Brother Hussein. I would like to call upon Brother Abid and Brother Hijazi in regards to their presentation. Brother Abid, Brother Hijazi. Salat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا محمد وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. Brothers, some of you are familiar. I'm a familiar face for some of you. I might be a new face for some of you as well. I wish to introduce to you today, inshallah, Brother Wasim. So I'll introduce myself first. My name is Abid, and around 3 years ago, or 2 years ago roughly, we started a publishing company here in Australia called Lantern Publications. And the objective of this was multiple-fold. The one most important objective was to promote local authors and provide a conduit for our community to publish their work here locally. So Brother Wasim approached me around a few months ago, and he told me that I have a book. I said, "Yalla, let's have a look. Let's see what you have." And he sent it to me. He was so excited about it. You know, it's like Wasim. If you know Wasim, he's got like the energy of an Energizer bunny. But anyway, he brought the book to me, and we said, you know what, this is awesome. Let's run with this. Alhamdulillah, you know, with a lot of effort and a lot of pushing, and we were able to get the book out and to release it on the 7th of Shahr Ramadan. So just last week, in fact. So inshallah, I will, without further ado, invite Brother Wasim to tell us a little bit more about his awesome book. Salu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Abbas Ali and Imam Hasan Center, thank you so much for inviting me on this amazing night, the night of the birth of Imam Hasan. Basically, the month of Ramadan is a time of faith, a time to ask God for forgiveness and help. It is a time when families and friends break bread together. It is a time when destiny is written. And it is a time when miracles take place. The miracle of Ramadan is a story. This is a story of a man who had lost his way, a man who needed to learn to love again. Many years ago, at the month of Ramadan, a miracle happened that changed all the lives of the characters in this book forever. I pray you all enjoy the book, and thank you, Hajj Abbas Ali, for being the number one support, one of the biggest supporters. And inshallah, all your children, yourselves, enjoy the book. Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Ramadan Kareem, and thank you for having me today.
Don't escape so fast. My God, you were supposed to present your book. That was the quickest. I appreciate you being quick. In Ramadan, we want the quick. We always look for the fastest sheikh who can pray the namaz. I told sheikh to read, but he didn't listen to me. They stay right there. Abid, can I pinch that book back from you? Sorry. Where is it? Okay. All right. See, if you don't know Brother Wasim, it's not so important, but his father here is very important. If I can please ask first one loud salawat for Brother Hajj Fawzi. Hold on.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh Idris, welcome. And I'm sorry I didn't see you come in at that time there. Hajj Fawzi has served this community, and also you heard Hajj Mufid, and Dr. Abu Ali is here, and then Sheikh is here. You're a bit young, you were not here at that time, Sheikh. And of course we know Dr. Shabir Haider. These men have really served the community immensely, and I've traveled to Lebanon with Hajj Fawzi, and honestly you should see the work he does there for helping the needy there. It's unbelievable. I would definitely tell you, if you go to the Middle East, make sure you go with Hajj Fawzi to Lebanon, otherwise don't go, make sure you go with him. On this book here, I've known Wasim a long time. It's a lovely family. He's written this book. We don't have time to go much. We'll call you back when the madrasa is running. But what we're doing, Wasim is going to sign these books today. Every one of these books. They are how much? Well, we better ask Abid, not you. You're not the publisher. Abid, how much are we discounting it to? How much today? $3? No, sorry, $31? It's half of $30, right?
$15.
$15. And Brother Wasim will sign the book outside. Please grab a book. You know, next Sunday is Mother's Day, right? Next Sunday is Mother's Day. Because it's the nights of Qadr, and it will be particularly the nights of Imam Ali alayhi salam, we can't celebrate maybe Mother's Day on that day. I know it's Mother's Day in the English calendar. We have 2 Mother's Day. But tomorrow next, you still need to look after Mother's Day on more than one day. Maybe you can buy this book for your mom today, get it signed directly for your mom, and give it to your mom, and then she can read it for you. So please, before you leave, make sure you get this book here. And Imam Hasan Center will also be keeping copies of these books when the madrasa starts. But you're going to sign each one of them. How many books did you bring? 80? Yeah, so you're going to sign 80 books. Before you leave, and we want a photo of every one of them, okay? So we won't let you go easily. But thank you very, very much for the effort. For all of you who want to write a book, it can be done. He's a writer, there's a publisher. Please make sure you put the effort to make that happen. Par Muhammad wa ali Muhammad, salawat. Thank you very much, Wasim.
Thank you, Haj.
We'll
Allah
keep
yahfaz.
Wasim outside to sign the book. So before you leave, he'll sign the books and make sure you get it. Please support and grab the book. I'll let you grab this book from me for a moment as well. Okay, before we hand over to the Urdu program, we're just going to do a very quick draw and then we'll hand over to that. If I can just get some help, Ali, Nanji, you can give me help if you don't mind. There's 5 boxes there. Can you just bring them for me very quickly? I'll stand out the front. Yes, Haider, I'm moving. You can get me on the front here very quickly. Oh, let me start with that book. Let me start with that book. Give me that book, Haider. Yep, okay. This question is for the ladies' side. You win a copy of Heaven to Heaven. It's been donated, Brother Talal Toby. You only have to be the first person. Is Zora there by any chance? Zora, can you come to the front if you don't mind? Zora is there? Yes? No? And I didn't say Sister Zora. By the way, Brother Bakar's family has COVID. Brother Bakar hasn't got COVID, but we didn't let him come. So please recite 1 salawat, please, for his family. This is the book you get for answering one simple question. The first person on the ladies' side who can please put their hand up to answer the following question. How old is Imam Hasan Center? Ladies' side. Ladies, they have to be on that side. No, my sister can't have it. No one was listening to 18, please. Thank you. Next one, Abbas Sachu, can you please hold the next one, please? I can't hold it up today, I'm sorry. Pick a picture, pick a picture. This is the, which one you want to do? This one last? This one? Okay. This is a picture by Brother Talal. You can open it to show them if you like. And what we'll do here is on this side, Brother Hussein said that Imam Hasan Center, and there's another organization that does something. What was the other organization's name? Sorry? Not the one I'm looking for. Not asking you. Next. Anyone else? Sorry? No? No? Yes? Thank you. Your prize there, please, to that side there. From Muhammad Wali, Muhammad Salwan. We have a question for the lady side, Zora, that I should ask, or you're going to make up the... I don't have an easy question. Who's winning between Cronulla and Manly right now? Sorry, I checked 2-0 to Cronulla. Sorry? Oh, okay, I'll ask. This is a very good question. Sorry? Oh, gift, pick a gift. This one? Please, could you... It's a picture of? I don't know. We'll leave it to Zora to open it up. It's okay. It's a mystery gift. It's it's acrylically, like the one, it's a typical Tom Toby picture. Okay, I'm not sure what's in the box. I'm not going to delay and hold that for everyone. The question on this one is, Brother Hussein asked for some help for particularly one area of volunteers. What was it? There you go, done. Next one, pick a picture. On the men's side, Sheikh Mohsin said something about Imam Hasan that was something very special, a trait of his that he could... See that question now, can I? Okay, who was Imam Hasan alayhi salam's grandmother? Grandmother. Please, Brother Altaf. Allah Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. No, he'll get his present. Don't worry. He'll get it. Today, we're not giving anything to kids. They get everything all the time. There's plenty. Don't worry. They'll get it. Thank you, Imran. Ladies, this is the last one? Okay, this is a top gift. This is the 2 more. Yeah, keep the good one for the men's side. Don't give it to the ladies' side. Yeah. What's this one? What's this one? What's this one? Oh, yes, that's a nice one. We'll keep the other one for the men's side. We gave you a book, so we'll keep the good picture for us. Okay. Okay. Sheikh, do you have a question, quick, short Ramadan question that we can ask the ladies? I don't know.
سمحت الشيخ تحب تسأل سؤال؟
Ask it in
سأله
Arabic.
سؤال وأنا بترجم.
You can ask it in Arabic. See who can answer it on the ladies' side. No, don't do that. I'll get in trouble. Pick a question. Ladies' side, here comes your question.
What is the fruit that's needed from the month of Ramadan that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks about in the Quran?
The fruit that Allah speaks about in the Quran. That question is going to take half an hour to get the answer.
The result that's needed to be achieved. Okay.
I don't have enough of that right now. It's going to take that long. I needed a quick answer. You got an answer? No. No, wait. Sheikh is giving a hint here.
So the verse كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم لعلكم.
Who was first? Who was first? In English. Yes, there's the answer. Piety was the answer. Someone said it at the back. Someone said it at the back. Thank you. And the really grand, the super duper prize for the men's side. Open it up. We need to open this one. We didn't give this to the ladies. Okay. No. The shine we do a lot. This one is this one. Okay. The question came from Sheikh's speech, right? You can ask the question, but don't say the answer.
Okay.
The ladies can answer this one as well if they get it right, Zora.
Okay, what is generosity that comes out of the creation of Allah, the human beings? What is the real generosity?
Yes. 1 second. I'm coming. You're second. I bet you're first. No. 1 second. You're third. I'm coming to you third. Yes, Altaf bhai. No. That wasn't. Was that the answer? No. Sorry. Wait. Lady side. Have we got an answer? Wait. Lady side. No. It's close. No. Listen to the question again.
So the first thing that I mentioned when I started to speak about generosity, and I said that Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib explained it. So the real generosity, the real meaning generosity that comes out of the human being, what is it supposed to be?
1 second. Ladies first. You're next. I'm coming. I've got you as well. First lady side. Going once. No, that's not the question. I had you next. Sorry? Morality? No. What? Not the. There's the answer. Please come up and get Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala. Fulfilling your duties, right? Yeah, please take a photo. Take a photo of the gentleman, please. All right. One last gift that we'll have. Hey there. There's that coin here. Oh, sorry. You see that brown paper bag? Can you give that to me? Okay, last two things and I promise I'm done. I have a special coin here. You know when you go to Karbala, you get a special coin. This is not that coin. No, this is not that coin. This is a $2 Australian uncirculated minted B coin. It's a very special coin. I stood in a queue online and it made me wait for over an hour to get this coin. So there's a lot of sweat that went into getting this coin. It was online queue, and you couldn't switch that thing off because if you could, it starts you again, because I tried that. It didn't work. I'm going to do this very quickly. This coin is going to go with a question. What question can we ask? I need a good, tougher question. That was too tough. We don't want that. I'm not going to use. Zora, would you like to ask this question? We won't ask that question. All right. Okay. I'm thinking of a number between 1 and 1,000. Wait. I'm going to tell Abbas Sachu the number. Okay? You have a question? Oh, wait. Here's a question. Wait. Sheikh wants to take control.
According,
we need the answer in 1 minute.
It's about honeybee. It's in the Quran. Okay? What was the wahi that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told the bees to do? According to the Quran.
Wait. Ladies first. One person put the hand up and then I come back to the men. Do you want to hear the question again? Oh no, he got the answer? Come back. No, come back. Did he give you the right answer? Come back here. I haven't finished you. I'll give you something. Wait, I have to get the ladies first. Sorry? 1 second. Sheikh, is this the right answer? 1 second. Is this the right answer? Say it again, please.
To make the hives and to make honey.
No. Okay. I don't think anyone will mind if we let Abbas answer this one. Will they mind? Abbas, answer the question. I didn't fix it. Look at the two. I'm not in it.
They mentioned the hives. It's not correct wording, but it is a bit relevant.
Is that right or wrong? Should I give them the prize or not? I'm not going to make the decision.
According to the verse in the Quran.
Habitat in the mountains. To habitate in the mountains.
The habitat in the mountains. The answer was the habitat in the mountains.
Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Now, take out that last thing for me out of the bag. Don't worry, it still gets better. Don't worry. He get the coin. Don't worry about the coin. I'll get the coin back. Don't worry. By the time Eid comes, we'll be auctioning the coin. Don't you worry. Okay, if you've seen this game, it's a game that Brother Yusuf created. It's beautifully finished game. I don't know if the ladies' side can see it in my hand. I'll switch hands. If the ladies' side can see it. I did put it. I know some of you have put an order in for it. We have exclusively 50 coming to Imam Hasan Center before Eid. Sheikh Mansour has checked the questions in this game. It's a journey of the Prophet's civilization, or creating tribals and civilizations. You can't have this one because it's not a complete set. It's only a prototype, all right? But I will give one away. I will give one of these away. I will ask one question only to here, and this time I'll ask on the men's side. I think I gave ladies' side already one chance. We'll ask on the men's side. By the way, if you want to order it, it's $35 on the day of Eid. They will be here for you to collect. And if you want to, you need to give us the orders and let us know. I think half of them have already been taken so far. The question is very simple. You got to put your hand up. What was the weapon of choice of the Prophet when he was spreading Islam? Yes. Imran? No. Right? Don't shout. Yes. What? Not the answer I'm looking for. Sorry? What's another word for it? Ikhlaq. I'll give it to you. Not this one, but you got one loud salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Okay, what we'll do is I'll let Brother Abbas, we have some reciters. It's not long to finish there. Before I go, I want to thank Hajj Mufid, who's sitting. He's not a sheikh, he's Hajj Mufid. His brother is Sheikh Muhammad Mehdi and Sheikh Ali Mehdi, and of course his wonderful father, who's no longer with us, who really inspired us all for all the work that we do, and he's an inspiration. The idea of those chickens for Lebanon, was an amazing result in getting it delivered. They're being delivered. Just to give you an idea, how much does a chicken cost in Australia? I know, it's a Scott Morrison question, or Tony Albanese, I don't know. So Zora's not here, that's okay. A chicken, I'm told, is about $4 or $5, am I right? In Carrefour's shopping in Beirut, one chicken raw, you can look it up, which I didn't believe, was $23 US. To feed one iftar in Pakistan is costing us $3 per head. To do the same thing in Lebanon is $10 US. The food pricing in Lebanon is, that's why we could not do the iftars in Lebanon. Instead, we are doing this there. With every work that we do in terms of charity, the people that we have working with us, Brother Mufid, Brother Hussein is here, and all the others who work with us, even in the cemetery, excuse me, these are the guys who do the work. I honestly swear to you, these are the guys who receive the bodies in, as Brother Hussein mentioned, in very difficult conditions. They're the ones who are washing the body, not me. I am nowhere near that. I'm being very honest with you. It's not something I do. But these guys are there at night. Sister Batul, I'm not sure if she's here. I know her father is here. Amazing person. The amount of work she does, right? Please, these guys are very, very special people. Please, I want you to read the loudest salawat you can for them. Muhammad wa ali Muhammad salawat.
صل على محمد وآل
We now are going to be heading into the last part of our program, and that is the recitation of poetry. I would like to call upon Dr. Saab to come and present his mankabat and shayar with Allah ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Bismillah.
Salawat pढ़ें. یہ میں وہ سلام پڑھ رہا ہوں جب یہ سینٹر کی اوپننگ ہوئی تھی 18 سال پہلے، تو یہ میں نے لکھا تھا. ایک سلوات ہے جی. حسن کی حسن نظر دو جہاں کی نعمت ہے. حسن کی حسن نظر دو جہاں کی نعمت ہے. امام حسن کا مولود رب کی رحمت ہے. بٹھا کے کاندھے پہ تیرا نبی یہ کہتا ہے. بٹھا کے کاندھے پہ تیرا نبی یہ کہتا ہے. ولائے حسن حسینہ ہی میری چاہت ہے. ولائے حسن حسینہ ہی میری چاہت ہے تیری سلو میں پناہ فتح کی تدبیریں. ہے تیری سلو میں پناہ فتح کی تدبیریں. تیرے سلوک محبت میں دین کی نصرت ہے. حسن حسین سے جنت کی ساری رانائی. حسن حسین سے جنت کی ساری رانائی. شباب جنت عظمائنی کی عظمت ہے. کبھی جمل میں حسن کی بصیرتیں دیکھیں. کبھی جمل میں حسن کی بصیرتیں دیکھیں. صفی کا رنگ فتح حسن کی شجاعت ہے. مباہلے میں حسن اور حسین کا ہونا. مباہلے میں حسن اور حسین کا ہونا. نشان عظمت اسلام کی وضاحت ہے. وہ جس کے لنگر خیرات پہ فرشتے بھی. وہ جس کے لنگر خیرات پہ فرشتے بھی. پڑے ہیں صلی اللہ حسن کی سخاوت ہے. معاویہ نے کیا ظلم توڑ کر وعدے. مقام صبر و یقین حسن کی صداقت ہے. حسن کی سلو نے اسلام کو بچایا ہے. حسن کی سلو نے اسلام کو بچایا ہے، حسین نیزے پہ قرآن کی فصاحت ہے، وہ جس نے گالیاں کھا کے دعائیں دی وہ حسن، وہ جس نے گالیاں کھا کے دعائیں دی وہ حسن، حسن سراپا علی ہر ادا شجاعت ہے، سرور ٹھنڈ کے جاں خوشبوئے بہار جناں، سرور ٹھنڈ کے جاں خوشبوئے بہار جناں، ارم کی سبز قبا حسن کی عنایت ہے، ولائے حسن کے پھولوں کی اوڑھلی چادر، ولائے حسن کے پھولوں کی اوڑھلی چادر، اب اس سے بڑھ کے بھلا اور کوئی نعمت ہے۔ صلوات۔
Jazakallah, Dr. Saab. I would now like to call upon our respected scholar Sheikh Idris to come and recite some manqabat for us. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. Bismillah. Tashif line. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajil farajahum.
اعوذ باللہ السمیع العلیم من الشیطان الرجیم، بسم اللہ الرحمن الرحیم۔ ایک دفعہ اور صلوات پڑھی محمد وآل محمد۔ بس ایک منقبت کے چند اشعار مولا امام حسن علیہ السلام کی شاد میں پیش کروں گا، اور دیکھیے پھر یعنی پوری منقبت تو نہیں پڑھوں گا، چند ایک اشعار آپ کی خدمت پیش کر رہا ہوں۔ صلوات پڑھی محمد وآل محمد۔ میرے نبی کے خواب کے تعبیر ہے حسن، میرے نبی کے خواب کی تعبیر ہے حسن، کوثر کے بعد آیت تطہیر ہے حسن، کوثر کے بعد آیت تطہیر ہے حسن، تاریخ کی کتاب کی کیا حیثیت ہے جب، تاریخ کی کتاب کی کیا حیثیت ہے جب، قرطاس کائنات پہ تحریر ہے حسن اور اس تحریر کو دیکھنے کے لیے ان آنکھوں کی نہیں بصیرت کی ضرورت ہے. معبود اور عبد میں ہے سارا رابطہ. معبود اور عبد میں ہے سرابطہ. دونوں میں ایک نور کی زنجیر ہے حسن. دونوں میں ایک نور کی زنجیر ہے حسن. اور باطل کا سر کچل دیا شمشیر صلح سے. باطل کا سر کچل دیا شمشیر صلح سے. صلح نبی کی بولتی تصویر ہے حسن. صلح نبی کی بولتی تصویر ہے حسن. اور صرف صلح میں نہیں، جنگ میں بھی مولا شریک ہیں. دیکھیے قاسم نے جنگ کر کے یہ اعلان کر دیا. قاسم نے جنگ کر کے یہ اعلان کر دیا. کرب و بلا میں ناصر شبیر ہے حسن. کرب و بلا میں ناصر شبیر ہے حسن. اور باغ فدق کو چھین کے کیا مل گیا انہیں. باغ فدق کو چھین کے کیا مل گیا انہیں. جب کائنات آپ کے جاگیر ہے حسن. جب کائنات آپ کے جاگیر ہے حسن. صلوات پڑھی محمد و آل محمد.
We've come.
We've now come, inshallah, to the end of the program. I would like to thank all of us for attending, and inshallah we will now be reciting the Diyara. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Assalamu alayka ya Rasulullah, assalamu alayka ya Nabi Allah, assalamu alayka ya Ali Amir al-Mu'mineen, assalamu alayka ya Fatima al-Zahra, Sayyidati Nisa al-Alameen, assalamu
السلام عليك محمد الباقر، السلام عليك جعفر الصادق، السلام عليك موسى الكاظم، السلام عليك علي الرضا، السلام عليك أختك فاطمة المعصومة، السلام عليك محمد تقي الجواد، السلام عليك علي النقي الهادي، السلام عليك حسن العسكري، السلام عليك مولانا صاحب العصر والزمان، خليفة الرحمن، شريك القرآن، كعبة الإيمان، السلام عليك إمامنا